Hi, thanks for joining me today to make these lovely jam-filled iced buns. So we've got 300 millilitres of warm milk and I'm going to add in some dry active yeast. That's 7 grams. Then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of sugar. So the sugar helps to activate the yeast at this stage. So you want to just mix this together and then just leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes just to start to activate while you get the rest of your ingredients together. So get 500 grams of strong white bread flour and I'm taking out 1 cup of the flour just now, and this is to make a no knead version of bread. So you will add that back later. So in goes the milk mixture with the yeast. And then because it's an enriched bread dough, we're just adding in some butter. So this is 40 grams of melted butter. So I've just melted it at a gentle heat in the microwave and then let it cool. And then this is 1 free range egg yolk. You just want to get all that into the bowl, just scrape that down. Then I'm just giving it a little stir before I add in the salt. So I'm adding in half a teaspoon of sea salt. You can use regular salt, I quite like sea salt. And then you want to beat that dough as if you're making a cake. You want to beat it quite hard for about 2 to 3 minutes before adding the flour back in. Now you can also just keep all the flour in at the start and knead your dough for 10 minutes. But this way saves you having to knead the bread. So you just want to mix it in. You probably have to get your hands in and just work the dough until you get a nice dough. So just keep mixing it up. And here you can see the dough that I've ended up with. So I've just put it into a lightly oiled bowl. I'm dusting it with flour and then going to cover that with cling film and let that rise for 1 hour in a warm place. I normally leave it fairly near a radiator. So you get a lovely light dough. You can see it's quite soft. So the first stage of any bread making is to knock back the dough once it's risen for the first time. So you just want to knock that back, just mix it together. And then I'm going to use half of this dough to make the iced buns. Half of this dough mixture will make between 8 to 10 iced buns in a small size. But the dough is very versatile. I'm going to use the other half to make something else. So you just want to start patting that out, just put a wee bit of flour onto it, just to get it ready to be rolled. So you just want to dust your rolling pin and then roll out your dough. So you want to roll it out to just about 1 centimetre thickness. 1 centimetre to 1.5 centimetres, or about 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm just going to lightly press it back in, so it's quite a stretchy dough. You don't want it to lose shape once you cut it. So you can use a large cutter if you want larger buns, but I'm just using this one here. It's a wee bit smaller. But because it's going to rise, I find these are quite a nice size. And then you just want to cut them all out. And you can just reuse the extra dough as well. And then you want to put them on a baking tray. I find it quite easy just to use parchment paper. and then lightly dust them and cover them with cling film. And again, they want to rise between 40 minutes to 1 hour. And this is them risen. So you can see they've just puffed up gently and they're now ready to go into the oven. Now they'll bake quite quickly. They bake at 180 centigrade and they'll just bake between 8 and 10 minutes, but you just have to keep an eye on them. So we're moving on to the icing. So I've just made up just a very simple icing. Now 1.5 cups of icing sugar or icing powder in America will make enough icing to use for the whole batch of dough. So I've just separated it out into 3 amounts. So this is 1/3 of this icing mixture. And I've just put in a few drops of pink food colouring. So that's quite pale. I'm just going to add a little more. It's best just to add tiny drops because once it's in, it can be quite bright. So you just mix up the icing sugar and the milk to make a really stiff icing for using on your buns. Now you don't want to have it very thin because as you can see now I've added in that food colouring, it's made it a lot thinner, but that's a really good consistency now. And then I'm just going to show you the easiest way to fill these with jam. You don't have to fill them with jam, but I think they're really nice with jam. You just want to put something in and then you just wiggle it around to cause a hole. And then I've got my piping bags. This is just a normal jam that I've got. This is a lovely raspberry jam. And then you just squash it in and then you just want to ice the top. So these are a lovely, lovely iced bun. There's a few shops in Scotland that sell buns like this. I've made these up with Easter in mind because I think they're lovely, pretty colours for Easter. I'm just going to show you a lemon one. So again, just something long. And this is a nice lemon curd that I've got here. And again, you just squash it in until you see it come out at the front, and then you know that your gap has been filled. And then this is a lemon icing that I've made up, a lemon colour. You can put lemon essence into it or just put food colouring. And these are the iced buns, and then I put these lovely sprinkles on them, and I really like them with the sprinkles. I think they just look really good fun and nice for Easter, and the jam inside is really, really good. So I hope that you can give these a try. I hope you've really enjoyed watching the recipe and you'll give them a go. Let me know how you get on and if you like them. So as usual, please subscribe to see more videos, and you can also become a patron to support us in our new venture and our work. Thank you very much. Bye.